I'm just glad he's paying me because Mike is just an...
Rolling.
What? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, it's time for your weekly Fix-A-Funny. Can I get another one of these? I'm going to need this. I'm about to do this shit. So grab... Oh. I'm okay, I swallowed it. So grab a cocktail, take those pants off, and treat yourself to the sexy bald man that makes you tingle in your special place. Woo! I'm drunk! Got my mind on my money, my money on my mind, bitch! I'm house announcer Chet Jackson, and it's time for the Me, Myself, and I show with Mike Bettencourt! Are we done? Yes.
Me, myself, and I. It's me, myself, and I.
Hello. Oh my God, hold on. 1 second. What is this? This is crap. Hold on. This is terrible. What is this? Hello. Welcome to another exciting episode of Me, Myself, and I. You can just see my thumb, but I don't care. I'm going to keep going until the light gets back on, and whatever. It's going to get back on. It always does this. Hello. Welcome to another exciting episode of Me, Myself, and I. I'm your host, Mike Bettencourt, episode 155. It's blurry, but you can see the pen. As long as you can see the pen, that's all that matters. There we go. So embarrassing. I got a great guest tonight. I'm going to just talk about it until we get clear. There we go. Nope. Wait. What happened? What happened, Dustin? It always does this. I
don't know. It's got to be the contortions of your face. It just can't be fully picked up by a camera. Yeah, keep doing that. That'll make it work if you keep doing.
Let me try again. There we go. Are we clear? Oh, we're almost clear. We're almost there. Hold on.
I hope so badly this is somebody's first time tuning in.
There it is. Look what happened. The
Yeah.
worked. Thanks, Dustin. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Me, Myself, and I, episode 155. Now we're in the clear. Now we can see each other. We have a very exciting show tonight. Dustin's here, obviously, and we have a great, amazing guest. He's from the Craig Ferguson show. He also has a dry bar special, and he is Joey Bishop in the Rat Pack tribute band show, live band show, whatever. Anyways, not whatever. I messed up. I don't want to just say whatever like I'm crapping on someone's career, okay? I messed up. Now we're moving on. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday means everyone's off. The whole world just shut down again because it's Memorial Day weekend. That's what it is. No one cares about anything anymore. And I hope everyone does pay tribute on Memorial Day, ladies and gentlemen. I know no one did anything on Pearl Harbor Day. I didn't see one photo. I didn't see in remembrance. Is that what you're going to do this weekend? Are you going to forget Memorial Day weekend? Are you going to forget the fallen soldiers? Yes, you are. You are. You know it. It's okay. I'm a veteran. I get it. I understand. I know this sounds bad, but we do. We forget. We do. We're too busy buying Memorial Day cars and barbecuing and getting drunk and doing a Memorial Day weekend show. But we never take the time. None of us. And I say all of us, none of us take the time to reflect and find out what. This is what I do on Memorial Day weekend. I go like this. Dad, your burgers are burning. Oh, sorry. Am I going to hell? Probably, but not until I buy a new truck on Memorial Day weekend. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we got comments already, and the comments is, Mike, you need a new camera, Mike. Not anymore. Look what happened. Woody. Anyways, you know who's not a Woody? It's time for Dustin's Thoughts.
All right, what is going on, everybody? I'm here to talk about something very important. You know, people argue all the time, who's the best James Bond? Who's the best Batman? It's Ben Affleck, by the way. But nobody argues about the really important things, like what was the best era for porn? And I have to say, I have done a ton of research this week, and just basically as a Catholic boy. And I have come up with the answer. The best porn is 100% 80s porn. And I figured it out. I broke it down to a formula why it's the best. The reason why 80s porn is the best is because, well, A, women look like actual real life women in 80s porn, you know? Also, sex is just depicted in a way that sex really looks, you know, because sex is kind of gross looking when it's being done right, you know? Like sex always kind of looks like me eating a Hot Pocket in August. It's just a lot of sweat and squishing noises, and you know it smells a little bit like marinara sauce. And 80s porn, I feel that feeling when I'm watching it. Also, like I said, the women just look like real women, you know? Like there was no breast augmentation. And oh, son of a bitch. Again? Who are you?
What do you guys want to do?
Watch 80s porn.
You want to watch 80s porn?
Yeah.
What is happening? Why do people interrupt on my segment only? Who's Stephen Ferris? Are you an 80s porn star?
I'm not an 80s porn star. I could try to find some 80s. I'm a comedian, but I could try to find some 80s porn on my phone.
No, don't. We'll lose the stream. Don't.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
I think that might get the show canceled.
Don't do
We're
it.
just talking 80s porn.
Okay. All right. So you guys
Do you have a favorite 80s porn star?
I do. Hold on, Steven. I do. Hold on. I love the genre where you went to, Dustin. And man, God bless you, man. I always interrupt you all the time. But dude, who's the best 80s porn? Here she is. Booyah, Miss Nina Hartley.
Oh no.
No? Who do you like?
Well, I was getting to it. I was gonna say that like when at my age, 80s porn is always fun because there's that like 1% chance that you're gonna find someone that looks like your mom in porn. And there's always that weird
ruined it forever.
Yeah, there's always
dude.
that moment
You
where
just
you're like, oh,
ruined it forever, dude. Just ruined it.
Oh, come on. Everybody wants that moment where they're like, oh my God, my mom's famous. Okay, I'll leave.
What did you do?
What? I didn't do anything.
Anyways, that was Dustin Stotts, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Stephen Ferris. We really appreciate you being here, buddy. You got any jokes to say or no? You're good.
Yeah, I mean, I have like jokes and stuff and monologues.
All right. Well, let's keep the show going. Steven, you can go, bro. That's all good. You don't have to stay there. I know. I appreciate your time and effort, man. We'll definitely get you back on the show. He is the king. You don't realize Stephen Ferris is the king of awkwardness. Oh, that was hella awkward. That was awesome. Let's try to maybe he should stay on the show.
I don't know if I should stay or not. It's your show.
I love Steven. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the show going because we have a very exciting guest tonight. He is hilarious. But before we bring him up, let's just show one of his acts, Mr. Jeff Applebaum. Did I lose it? I had it. Oh my God. This show is off the rails right now already. It's already off the rails. And you know what? I'm trying my best. That's all you can do. It's Memorial Day weekend. What do you want from me? Stuff falls apart. What are you going to do? Nothing. But anyways, here we go. Here's Mr. Jeff Applebaum. Sit back, enjoy.
Hey, night in the Collection Mall in Oxnard, California. I'm gonna have to scratch this off my bucket list. You know what they say? What happens in Oxnard? Well, that's all they say. What happens? Man, I can't believe how quickly the year is going. We're in March of 2017. Holly, we just had Valentine's Day. Ladies, did you have a great Valentine's Day? That sounds like a no to me, okay? That's not our holiday. I will tell you this, gentlemen. I will tell you this. I discovered that roses cost much less on February 15th. And I bought my wife a card at the dollar store. I was happy with 1P and Valentine's. Does it really matter? I discovered every kick begins with K. That's what. And I got to apologize if I look a little tired. I've been taking night courses at Trump University. Latin American studies. And I know you're smart. I've been watching you all night long. So you're going to say, but education has changed. Every time I go to my kids' school, I am reminded of all the food allergies we never had when we were kids. I'm at that school last week. Big sign on the wall. Nut-free zone. I looked around. I don't think so. The kids can't have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They can't have cupcakes on their birthday. They can't eat a hamburger that was looked at by anybody that lived in the Midwest. Living in the state of California is like an ongoing celebration of Earth Day. Every single day, even driving here tonight, we got stuck behind a couple of Prii. More than one Prius. And on the back of the Prius, a bumper sticker, save the earth, everything is green. Out the window, a hand with a cigarette. You've seen this, right? It's like the vegan with the leather Gucci purse. Be as righteous as you want to be, but just be consistent. The vegans make me laugh. They say stuff like this, I wouldn't eat anything that had a face. Really? Then I saw a vegan eating French fries and I thought, why Mr. Potato Head?
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It's so much fun. I've known this gentleman for many years, and I'm very excited to have him on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen him on Craig Ferguson. He has a dry bar special, and he is Joey Bishop in the Rat Pack Tribute Show. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Make him feel welcome for Jeff Applebaum. Woo! Dustin. Jeff Applebaum!
Hey, what's up, people? Thank you so much. My goodness, what a start! What an introduction! And I look at this here, man. It's BYO, man. Bring your own mic, cause I'm down with OCD. Yeah, you know me. What's going on, kids?
What's up, dude? This is like a Bill Nye the Science Guy going on lecture
Bill
right
Nye
now.
The Science Guy. We're gonna blow some things up here. That was beautiful. And Dustin, it was great seeing Stephen Fury, who is a very, very funny comedian, and he played the awkward piece very well. He's actually very gregarious. That was all an act. It was perfect. And I'll tell you, man, I said the only first of all, Mike, I love you. I've known you many years since when you had hair. When you
I never had hair. I had a widow's peak.
I don't know you that long. But 25 years ago, where's his hair? I don't know. It's on his back. Okay, but
it is. Stay back.
The only thing now my neighbor decides to turn on the circular saw. Thank you. But you hear that? Can you hear that? Either that or there's an elephant out there. Thank you. Okay. Can you hear that?
It's so loud.
I'm gonna play some hip hop on him.
Wait, don't. We'll get cut from the stream.
Oh, that's right. Oh, good point. You're right.
Yeah.
You can hear you hear that, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
listen. Yeah. Hold on. Maybe it's a really weird
white
dildo.
men and their power tools. Let me close it.
That's what it is. Maybe he's watching 80s porn, the construction site.
Yeah, I heard that, and that was my point. Is that the only reason I agreed to be on this is if I could follow a discussion by Dustin. How old are you? 19.
I'm 33.
No way, bro. Whatever you're doing.
I know, right? Keep doing it, brother.
I'm looking at him going, I think my shirt I'm wearing is older than this guy. But
No, I'm 33. I eat fetuses.
33, man. Wow, 33. That's young. And I'm going 80s porn. I'm only going to get on this show if I can follow 80s porn. And where we had someone, and now you're talking about your favorite. I know Mike Siegler sitting there going, that Ron Jeremy we know is his favorite star. He's not.
He was.
And
until he became-
Dustin, clearly, all I'm hearing is that you like hairy people. That's all I'm hearing, right? So that's all. I mean, some of the '80s classics, '80s porn classics, like On Golden Blonde. I mean,
Golden
Blonde. That's probably one of his favorites. And Saving
Diana Jones.
No, Saving Ryan's Privates. That's
Right.
That's a good one. Yeah. Lord of the Cock Rings.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
all of them great.
Now we're getting it. And Harry Potter. But you guys are something else. I'm like, well, how did I get on this thing? We're going to talk about '80s porn. And by the way, there's nothing to talk about. There wasn't any in the '80s. It was just still images. That's all I'm going to say. I was told.
You was told. Dude, you are on, my friend. You're just, dude, look at him. He's just
I don't know nothing.
He's just steamrolling.
I don't know nothing.
Sorry, Dustin. We'll get you back, brother. Okay, hang tight. Thank you.
What happened?
Well, it's for us now. We have the moment, minus the '80s porn.
Did Dustin go off and buy his Dogecoin? What is he doing now?
His Dogecoin. Oh my God, Jeff, you are on point.
I'm down, buddy. Seriously,
dude, this generation needs to know who the hell you are, man. For real.
I don't even remember who I am because I'm that old. I'm so old. I remember when Tommy John had Tommy John surgery, but it's crazy. You remember? You know what I'm doing there. You gotta love. How are you? Are you all over the cancel culture? Just tell me that Dustin's not a cancel culture guy. Dustin,
he just talked about porn, and you should hear last week's show. So don't worry.
Or should I? But So yeah, he talks about '80s porn. Now let's bring up our friend. He works Clean Comic, Jeff Applebaum. Hey, how you doing?
Clean Comic, Jewish fellow, Jeff Applebaum.
Let's talk about hairy women from the '80s.
Let's go.
I don't remember anything. Hey, son of a bitch. No, I'll tell you, cancel culture is taking over. How come this hasn't been canceled yet, man? I've been canceled.
I don't know, man. It's not popular. You have to get popular first, then get canceled.
Good point. I have what I call it Millennial Rhapsody. Millennial Rhapsody for cancel culture. It goes like this. No. Oh, I'm offended. Let me post. So that's all it is. It's like my biggest weapon now is that you're threatening the Uber driver with 2 stars. Like, bro, you're wielding your sword of social justice. Shut the hell up, okay? Go cancel yourself. I don't know. It's not even old school. I'm just come on, man.
Dude, Jeff Applebaum has taken over the show.
Mike Betancourt is woke. That means he was woke in the '80s with his porn.
80s woke porn. There you go, Dustin. 80s woke porn.
80s woke porn is hairy. It's all hairy.
I'm offended.
And it's about as clear as that camera thing you had going on at the beginning, buddy.
Yeah, right.
That's what happens when you convert VHS, Michael.
That's right.
Yeah, Michael, stop with the composite audio feed, please. All right, just get a camera. Okay. Hey, Mike, why don't you use a camera that doesn't say Fisher Price? Okay, bro. All right, we're good. I love you, buddy. Give it back to your kids. They need it. They got to film the Twister game for school. You son of a gun. Okay, what are we doing? And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain.
So Jeff,
missed it by that much. But buddy, I'm not on drugs. I'm just high on life and cancel culture fumes is what it is. That's all
cancel culture fumes.
Yeah, no, actually, I got my. You guys get vaccinated. I got my second shot, gang related, but I'm kidding. But seriously, man, it's unbelievable.
So Jeff, how do you feel about the cancel culture? How does that affect you in your comedy?
Here's my comedy. You get canceled. I can't perform anywhere anymore. I offended somebody who was. I'm kidding. No, I mean at least the cancel culture has elevated during this last time where we're not going anywhere. So you can't get canceled if you're not going anywhere. But I think we all become our parents. Remember when we were kids and your parents like, well, you stopped when I was your age, and now we're doing the same thing. right? We're doing the same thing, except here's the one thing. We didn't have this. We didn't have this. And you look at any family at a table, we had no choice but to talk to each other or hit our brothers and sisters, right? And now you watch a family, even during the pandemic, now that things are opening up, now they're all sitting outside or with the whole, now they're, with the mask on, the half mask on. I love the guys when during the pandemic, they were wearing it like this.
Right.
Yeah, like a chin
Yeah,
strap.
it's like, yeah, look, this is really effective if I want to look like Abe Lincoln or something, right? I mean, what the hell is this? And now they're sitting at the tables outside because they're responsible, and they're just doing this the whole time.
Just texting.
And I concern my oldest son is a very social kid. I got 3 kids, but you're worried about the kids' social skills, right? You want them to communicate, but
right.
And you got to be careful. You don't want to offend anybody or say anything, or everybody is this and this social justice is so important, and there's real discussion, and then there's people that are. You can't even have a conversation or have an understanding that. Why don't you try to put your mindset in the zeitgeist of the time you're do you think in the early times back then that people knew what was right and wrong? I mean, there's things we're doing now that 10 years from now we'll be like, oh my God. You ever watch one of your sets from like 10 years ago?
Oh yeah. Terrible.
I'm glad we agree on something. But
right.
Totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. I can't even watch mine. And you go, how did I?
What's that, Dustin?
God, how did I tell that joke?
I was gonna say, he's so right about the social skills thing. My niece and nephew now. My niece is 5. My nephew is 6. When I grew up with a sister a year younger than me, and she was my best friend growing up before I was out. And now, they don't even fight like siblings.
You got to echo, Dustin.
Oh, is there?
No, I don't hear one.
Try again.
Yeah. Can you? Is there an echo on my side?
Yeah, but go ahead, keep going.
I don't hear it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mike, were you smoking something before the show, Mike?
I wish. I think you are, man. You're on it. You're on steamrolling this show, dude. Just coming through like New York style. Wait, bada boom, bada bing. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mike. Featuring Mike Betancourt.
Yeah,
No way, man.
Go ahead, Dustin. Finish your thought, and then I got a question for Jeff. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying I agree with him. Kids don't even fight nowadays. Like my nephew won't even fight my niece. He'll just post about her on Facebook, and it's like she's right there. Tell her she's a bitch. She's sitting right next to you.
I know, right? You look right next to her.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So Jeff, Dustin, I'm going to take you off for a second. Maybe there's this weird thing with the internet. I don't know, but I'm going to take you off for a second. Hopefully you can figure it out.
There's a weird thing with the internet.
It's the 80s porn. We'll bring you back, buddy.
It's called Mike's MySpace account. Yeah.
MySpace account. That's the internet thing, the Friendster. So for what's going on in today's society and what's going on, you grew up in New York.
I did.
So what's New York like growing up and what it is now?
Well, it's so I was born in Brooklyn and grew up in Queens, and then we moved out to Long Island for high school. So it's funny, my oldest son went to NYU in New York City for college, and I grew up in a relatively rough area near Jamaica. That's why. So I grew up in. I tell people say, "Oh, Jamaica." I say, "I grew up in Jamaica." I go, "That's why I'm so fast." Hey. But then they look at me. I go, "Hey, man!" But no, the other Jamaica, yeah, blood clot. But it was, we always grew up with music and theater and art and different culture and different people, and that was who we were. We just got used to everybody. My parents taught us that everybody's equal. It doesn't matter what somebody does for a living. It's the person sweeping the street, cleaning up, or the person running the business. Everybody's human. And you have respect for everybody. And it was there were some tough times going. Public transportation to and from school was the scariest part, right? Because they see this little, especially I remember right after Roots came on in 1977.
Oh, wow.
It was one of the best documentaries about one of the worst institutions in history, of course, right? But I mean, being the only white kid in an all black neighborhood, when Roots came on was not a good thing, right?
Yeah, right. They all just looked at you.
They saw me. They're like, "Hey, Massa, get him!" I'm like, "No, I'm Puerto Rican." He went that way, Papi. But there were tough times everywhere, and you'd watch your wallet. I never carried a wallet till I drove. I used to keep like $1 in my sock as backup money if my bus pass were to get stolen, so I could still find a way to get change and get on the bus and get home. And I'm thankful that none of our kids had to worry about those kind of things. When we moved out to Long Island, it was a different story too. But you also just now New York, whether you Giuliani did where things got cleaned up a bit, no matter how odd he is today, Count Wackula, as they say, but that's an
80s porn right there. Count Wackula.
And then they but yeah, I know you were watching Dracula because you have that
one
the count.
I'm about to arrive. One.
That's right.
She's pregnant, not mine.
This was voted the best streamed comedy show at 8:00 on a Thursday night. Oh wait, we're still counting the votes, but stop. We are trending on MySpace and CompuServe chat rooms. Great, so it was like that, but it was always everybody's a little more intense in New York at the time, so it's a matter of and Jewish family from New York and our second generation of people that survived or came through the Holocaust. So it's a lot of that. And
so you're second generation, and
we had thankfully my parents and my grandparents got out. My parents my mother was born before the war, World War II. My father was born during, but grandparents came from Europe before the war, but they had siblings and uncles and aunts and cousins that didn't make it through. So that's all part of being Jewish. And I have cousins in Israel now, and that whole thing going on there is so frustrating. The media, again, nobody agrees with everything. I even posted something as I'm so angered by such misunderstanding about what's going on there. Nobody doesn't want. Everybody wants peace there. They truly do. And if you look at Judaism, right, the highest value in Judaism is life here on earth, right? Is life here on earth. So when you see Israelis will trade 100 soldiers for one Jewish soldier for one life, there's a reason for that. And you see the scenes in the pictures. And I talked to my cousins and I'll talk about. She's a doctor, and you see people where there's a father holding a child that's been killed. I mean, there's not a Jew or a Christian or anybody that could look at that and feel any joy. I mean, no. And what's sad is that often the cause of the death wasn't from Israeli fire, but from Hamas or others. And again, I don't post any of this stuff or share because it's so controversial and people get so passionate about this, understandably. But that's the thing that's so disturbing is there's such misunderstanding.
It's hard to be passionate online, though. People
rather than or just hide and be so. We want to see peace everywhere, but it's like I don't bother posting about much stuff. Or you try to hey, there's enough junk in the world. The shooting in San Jose yesterday, and you my God, the families that were impacted, and you think,
oh, in San Jose, I know, man,
but
so sad.
And I see something for Dustin asked, do I feel a responsibility? Absolutely. As a
hold on, I gotta read those questions. Do you feel a responsibility? Yeah. Dustin feeds me questions, and you're not supposed to read it because I gotta ask the questions so the people that are watching.
That's right, you're the host. me, myself, and Jew. I forgot.
Okay, here's the question: do you feel a responsibility to Jewish people as a performer?
Excellent question, Mike.
Thank you. I'm glad I thought of it all by myself. No one helped me. No one fed it to me.
Well, here's the deal. I don't. You represent who you are. I don't think I'm speaking for the whole Jewish community. There's not that many of us, but no. I think whoever you are in this world, you got to be like, let me tell you something, Mike. Do you feel responsible for the Puerto Ricans, right? You go, let me tell you something. I'm Mike from the block. You know my sister Jenny. Let me tell you something, Papi. Let me tell you something. You feel like no, absolutely feel responsible to not spread a foolish or stupid stereotype, but also joke about, tease myself, tease my people and things that I know about. You could talk about your own culture, right? My wife's Chinese. My sister-in-law is African-American. We're Jews. We got all sorts of, and I joke about that because this is real. And people go,
but that's what you grew up in. You grew up in that.
I grew up in that too. Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's been your life from day one.
My mother, God rest her soul, she would tan very well, and she used to tell people she was a Sioux Jew. S-I-O-U-S.
Sioux Jew.
And I said, that's right. Me too. I'm Chief Talking Bull. That's right.
Chief Talking Bull. And so, did you develop your sense of humor to protect yourself because you grew up in a black neighborhood? And you said, did you get beat up a lot, or what's going on?
In the words of Bobby Slayton, I'm a black man in a Jew body. But at least, are you saying that you're actually finding something funny? It's a first for everything. But no, comedy. Yes, comedy is here's where it comes from. My mother was very funny. My father's funny. My mother was just gregarious, natural. Comedy is a survival mechanism, and whenever you're going through challenges and issues in life, laughter helps us cope. Right. Every ethnic group, every religious group has been through challenges and will continue to. When an Italian comedian, when a Puerto Rican comedian, when a black comedian, when an Irish comedian, they talk about their family, there's so much commonality. The Catholic comedian, I love what Brian Regan talks about. Everybody's got so much commonality as human beings, as human experiences, that for me, comedy was a couple things. So I literally used to get chased, right? So I remember when I met LL Cool J, who's from Springfield Gardens, which is the next town over from where I grew up, a place called Laurelton. He's a big dude. Cool J is a big dude, right? And I go, LL, man, it's great to meet you. I said, I got chased on every street you rap about. He starts laughing. I go, that's Farmers funny. Boulevard, man. I ran up and down Farmers Boulevard many times. We go, no, man, leave me alone. Even with 50 pounds of math books on my back in my backpack, I was fast. When you're running for your life, my friend, you could be fast, right? So it'd be like people would catch you, and it's like you make them laugh. It's like they'd be like, nah, man, he's funny. Let's go get the next one. Or
what would you do to make them laugh? I mean, would you just make fun of them? Would you roast them?
What would you joke and just say, hey, man, what's going on? Yeah. And just silly things. Or just right. Talk with people, talk your way out of something. I would look at numbers 5-1, large, small. I lose, and yeah, right. And people around are going, yeah. And I'll tell you, the girl fights, man, on the street used to be the worst. You can stay away from that. You get yourself hurt by somebody getting mad at girls.
Oh, girls fight dirty, man. Woo. They fight. Guys have a limit. Like when a guy gets knocked out, they're like, "All right, man, he's done. Girls just keep going,
I remember when this, and then one year with this, like when I was going to junior high school, it was funny. I was on the bus. I was the only white kid on the bus being bussed into the white neighborhood. Not a joke, right? In junior high, IS-74 Bayside, Queens. They used to call me the spot maker. And remember from that Calgonite dishwasher, I'm the spot maker. And I'd be like, yeah, man, I get it. I understand, man. Yeah, I'm cool.
Could you imagine? Hold on, Dustin. Could you imagine Jeff being the only person on that bus just sitting like this?
I'm the spot
just
maker.
Waiting to get his ass kicked.
Nah, I mean, you got to act. You got to get on the bus, act hard. Like
yeah. Did you ever feel an obligation not to sit in the back?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember
sit in the middle, motherfucker.
I had a friend who said that. He goes, man, in the 60s we had to sit in the back. He goes, now we do anyway. And I'm like, but no, it was a different time, and I remember. So comedy was always a way of just coping. Mm-hmm. I loved watching my mother laugh. I loved making girls, and when you get to junior high school, I realized if you can make the girls laugh, it didn't matter what you.
What did I tell you, Dustin? When I first met you, what was the first thing I said?
It's all about wanting to.
It's a good skill, though.
It is,
skill, dude. And even when I have my Jew fro, right? It doesn't matter what you look like or your little Puerto Rican mustache. I had the Puerto Rican mustache and my Jew. I'm my 15-year-old now. It's funny. He's got the mustache, and I'm like, dude, it's time. Okay, it was about this time. I held on as long as you did too. but you could be hairier than your father even, and you're half Chinese. So you are the missing link. Okay, it's. I mean, seriously, my dad worked at the Museum of Natural History in New York City.
Oh,
and
nice.
And I remember literally Margaret Mead, who is like one of the world's famous archaeologists, and she, I remember being in the elevator as a kid, and I pointed to my brother and go, "What species is he?" And she looked at me. This is no joke. But not so much archaeologists, but just yes, Margaret Mead is very.
What species is he? Holy crap!
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
But yes, she was an anthropologist. I was right. Yes.
But when did you? Okay, so you survived New York.
Yeah.
You're an older gentleman now. So when did you decide to leave New York and head over California?
Well, actually, so I went from New York in high school. So it was cool. I went out to Long Island. Went to a place called Syosset High School. So I actually graduated. Judd Apatow. So we graduated. We're next to each other in the high school yearbook.
Oh, nice.
So
cool.
Yes, he's cool. And then Natalie Portman also went to my high school. She's a bit younger than me. Indina Menzel, she's 4 years younger than me, went to my high school. Let it go, let it go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent out there, and then
Wow.
I snuck in, and then so from there I went to
He
Cambridge.
sneaks
So
in those jokes, Dustin. You got to be careful, man.
He does.
He's a viper, bro. He just sneaks him in.
Viper, man. But no, I actually was worked hard in school, and I went to MIT for engineering. Believe it or not.
Oh,
And,
wow.
yeah, in Cambridge, Mass. So I was there for 4 or 5 years, undergrad and grad, and then after that, I came out here to work in tech. But I always wanted to be a comedian.
You were a New Yorker in Massachusetts.
What are you
Was that the
talking about
longest-
there? You goddamn Yankee fan. I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm a Mets fan. And matter of fact,
There you
I
go.
lived in Boston. I could see Fenway from where I lived.
Oh my
In
God! You could see the monster.
1986. And and that's when I remember it was me and another guy from Long Island. Also, his name is my buddy Jeff Traub, and we go. It was that bottom. It was game 5, right, or game 6 when right before Mookie Wilson and the Buckner incident. Remember that?
Oh.
And
Yeah,
they're
Bob
like,
It just goes right through him.
Damn, your Mets suck. You loser. Your Mets, they suck. The Sox are gonna win the series there. And Jeff and this guy, Jeff, we looked at each other, and I'm like, if there is a God, this is now, please God, please show me a sign. And all of a sudden, it's a pitch, and to Buckner, he booted the ball, and we're like, ah! I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. Come on, you want a piece of this? Come on, man. And we're like screaming. People like coming at us, like, come on, yeah. And I call my mother up, and was yelling and cursing and screaming. And
You're
saying
saying your prayer is responsible for the Bill Buckner incident?
I don't
Because
have
I
that
have
much.
I have a whole family tree that was to murder you.
Oh, you a Boston guy?
Oh, he's straight up Boston.
Now I see the hat there.
Boston.
So
His
you
family's
are
from Boston.
Oh, dude, I didn't see that. He's a masshole. He's a masshole.
He's a masshole.
That's right. We used to go down to the guy.
Asshole. That's a great
I'm a
one.
Mets fan, but that's it. In spite of that year, you just don't mention that year. They hate the Yankees even more. And I'm not a Yankee.
Yeah.
See, I was a Yankee fan as a kid, Mets and Yankees. But we're like, oh, New York, and then you go. Then your Yankee friends go, hey, your Mets suck. And Grant, let me give you this. Of course they suck. We all knew they sucked, right, in the 70s. But I don't want to hear it from you, Yankee boy. So they're like, your Mets suck. I'm like, screw you and your Yankees. Here's the definition of a Yankee fan. Are they winning? They're winning? I'm a fan. Okay, that's not a fan. I was with the Mets through the years that they sucked. When Joe Torre was a thing. When Lee Mazzilli when Tom Seaver left and went to the Reds. That's here. Let me explain that. You know what that felt like?
Hold on, I'm going to give you full screen. Go. You deserve full screen.
Okay, what does it feel like in 1977 when Tom Seaver went to the Reds? Imagine if Steph Curry went to the Lakers. Can you imagine that? How would you? If Stephen Curry left the Warriors and went anywhere else, how would you feel?
That's so spot on.
If Larry Bird there, Dustin there, Larry Bird high above the parquet floor. We used to watch him at the Garden there. Larry Bird at the Garden there takes on the doctor there from Philadelphia, the Sixers. And then we used to go there, and then Larry Bird. Imagine Larry Bird went to the Knicks. That's what it was like. And
Sacrilege.
When the Mets suck, so
That would be
1986
crazy if it was a parallel universe and Larry Bird was like the Patrick
Oh,
Ewing of the
I
Knicks.
would hate it because then we wouldn't get the Celtics Lakers feud. We wouldn't
Right.
get Magic
No.
and Larry. We
Right.
wouldn't get the Dream Team in '92.
Magic's a good
like,
dude. I met Magic's and
Oh wow!
I was a
He's
Knicks
the one
fan. So
Laker I
now
like.
Magic is great. No, I was a Knicks fan, and still, I mean, Bernard King.
Wait, you guys don't like LeBron James on the Lakers?
Next question. But
Yes.
Look at Dustin's face.
okay, so you know what? The man is amazing. Amazing. He's best actor. I saw three. Dude, I saw 3 hoops, so I shot for the middle one. What?
Yeah, right.
I had 3 punchlines, so I picked the most woke. But no, I have full respect. He does. He's really an amazing human being, no question. And what he does in the community, and the man at any age, I mean, I admire and respect that. But when he's playing your team, you're like,
Oh, you gotta hate him.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, he sucks.
Come on,
He's like
dude.
Derek Jeter. I always hated Derek Jeter as a player, never as a person.
If you're truly a Boston fan, but I'll tell you, how about Yastrzemski's grandson plays on the Giants here? I mean,
I'm an A's fan. I feel you.
I never
feel you
forgot
guys.
1973, by the way, when the A's beat the Mets. That's the only thing I have a problem with. I remember when Willie Mays was still playing on the Mets then, and I remember him striking out. It was the end of his career, but it's 90 years old. But I'll tell you, that A's team, though, do you remember who's on there? Remember that team? 1973?
1973?
Yeah, you weren't even around yet, Mike, were you? Are you
Are you asking? Raleigh Fingers, I know that.
Raleigh Fingers. There you go.
That's all I know. That's all I know. about
Reggie Jackson.
Oh, Reggie Jackson. Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
All those guys, Manny Sandian, all those guys there. Unbelievable, man. That's, how about all the sports that they had? Remember when sports went away you must have loved this, Dustin.
Oh,
when
the strike?
When the sports went away at the beginning of the pandemic, then all of a sudden they
Oh.
start showing all the reruns of the 87 Celtics games.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
thinking-
know.
And I'm thinking I hated them
They
the
were
first time.
showing-
Who needs this? Then thank God Michael Jordan came on with The Last Dance, right? It's like,
Yeah.
thinking
Oh
maybe-
man, what a documentary! Holy
that was great.
crap.
But I'm thinking maybe Michael's coming out with some kind of Air orthopedic Jordan shoe.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
I
right?
told my dad, I was like, when are we gonna get Larry Bird's Last Dance? And my dad would be like, it'd be one episode. Like,
Exactly.
It'd be one episode. That's it.
Trash talk 101. They call it.
That's it. That's it.
Bird was, I'll tell you, man, he was amazing. And the rivalry between him and the doctor. I got a photo here somewhere of me meeting Dr. J, man. That was
Did you really?
oh,
Oh
wow.
man, dude, that was so sweet.
What
I
an
did an event.
honor.
I did. Oh my God, I love that. First of all, he's a New Yorker, Long Islander, and let's see if I can show this here. Here's me
Oh,
shaking
nice.
hands with the doctor. I did an event for my buddies at a company called Nutanix out in Irving, and the doc is just, to this day, we were talking about all the stuff and about the ABA and his commercials and everything.
Yeah.
And when he went to the Sixers and everything, and it's like, man, he was Luke Hornacek and those red, white, and blue basketballs and the ABA, and
Yeah.
but he's from right there in Long Island at Roosevelt, and he was like about right, that's where Eddie Murphy came from too, same area. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's when he would go to those clubs out there when he was 16. He would have to wait outside until they would call his name. He would run in and do a set and then have to leave right afterwards.
Eddie, that's right, man. I remember in 1980 when Eddie was 18 and he came on Saturday Night Live. That was, man, that he inspired a lot of us, me included, to just go, oh my, when we saw Raw, and it was
He was
like,
so way ahead of his time.
oh my,
Yeah.
I'm
At
like,
19, 18,
I wanna-
19
I
to be
wanna
that
do that.
mature,
I want to
be
do that.
but to be 18 and 19 to be comedically mature.
Yeah.
There's a difference being funny, but comedically mature.
He was poised on stage. He did
Yeah.
have
Yes.
that thing of when you see
Well,
someone
Chappelle, I
who
mean,
first
it's like
start out.
Chappelle too. Chappelle started as a young man. It's
Chappelle,
all about
yeah.
when you start, you're young and start. It's about just about doing it. It's about time, burning pathways, neural pathways in your mind, and all that. And
Did you feel intimidation at all coming from, like you talked about, a lot of people came out of your school that were, big deal. Did you feel, obviously you didn't know then, but now when you look at it, do you feel kind of a pressure? You're representing a place that's turned out, I mean, look at, if you just think about just Judd Apatow, what he's done in the comedy world.
oh, it's absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of great people came out of there, and that high school. We're proud. We're all proud of him. I mean, it's almost. I mean, he and his wife Leslie came to our 20th. mean, my 10th reunion, we only had.
It's all right, man. You look younger than me, so it's all good.
Right.
You can
Our
say 20.
20th, the
It's all
20th
good.
reunion, and not the 30th. I mean, not that I was there or anything, but the 20th reunion, and it was great. And it's like, but you just know somebody as a certain person, right? And it's like you see comics that we knew here from the Bay Area that blew up big time, right? Remember when Ali Wong started, and
Yeah.
Kamal Bell, and a lot of it, and you're like, oh, or even when Robin, I mean, I came out after he was very well established, but just the fact you get to interact what Pitta used to put together at the Throckmorton, and just pray that reopen
Throckmorton
theater. Yeah,
I missed that. I can't wait to go back. That's such a great theater. Such a great
man.
theater.
I mean, just the fact that we get to do that is just unbelievable.
So
next time you guys are at the Throckmorton, you gotta look on the left, on stage left on the wall. There's RW initials and there's tally marks. And I asked the guy what it meant, and he said that's Robin Williams. He had a tally, and there was only like 7 on it. And I'm like, he had to have performed here more than 7 times. And I was like, he had to have crushed more than 7 times. And he said, no, that's every time he felt he bombed. And he made a tally of that.
7 times? That's
7
it?
times.
But that's
and
it,
I was
though.
like,
Mike did that more than that this week. It's me and Mike.
That was Jeff Applebaum, ladies and gentlemen. What a great show, man. I mean, we talked about 80s porn. We had a great time. I was trying to get a discussion about him, and then he's like, oh, scratch the host the whole time.
Not at all. Dude, are you kidding me? You've crushed. I'm the one bombing over there going and staring at the millennials, looking at me going, why is my dad on stage?
How do you feel about that now with post-pandemic doing stand-up comedy? How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm excited about it. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's comedy. It's like even any kind of communication process, and it's like it's connecting, right? And there's times where when we try really hard, sometimes we try too hard, and we just kind of be ourselves. I've seen some people get on stage. Think about the times, Mike, we've done shows together. I go, man, you just electric, right? Where it's just connecting with the crowd. When you try too hard, I always say like it's connection. And when you're connected, an hour set could feel like 5 minutes.
Right.
And when you're not connected, 5 minutes could feel like an hour.
Yes.
And the boundary, the rubber band boundary of the subject matter you could touch on, the minute you're connected, gets stretched out here and here and here. So if you find a way to just relate to people, and I think you talk about people and things, and I mean, I'll talk about silly stuff. Like, man, it's here in the Bay Area. It's been crazy last year. We had COVID and all the fires. Remember all the fires last year?
Oh my gosh!
There was so much smoke in the air. I thought they were electing a new pope. And so and it's
I like how you explain comedy like you're an engineer and you're explaining it. Is that how you approach writing your jokes, as with an engineer's mind, or do you approach as?
No, I think it's funny. I remember I went to a club once, and the guy goes, "Hey, why don't you dumb it down and dirty it up?" And I went, seriously, I won't tell you where it was, but I don't think that guy owns a club anymore. And I went, hey, why don't I just be funny? And
nice.
And he looked at me like, yeah. I mean, if you treat your audience like they're morons, they will be morons. And did
he say that right before you went up?
No joke.
Wow.
He did. And I think it's
because audience are not stupid.
No, they're not. If you
people
treat
are
them
not
like they
stupid
are,
at all.
if you treat them like that, they'll be that, right? If you treat them like they're intelligent, there's an age gap in some of the audience, but how can you relate to people now? You just talk to them, tell them. And we've all been in the pandemic, and open mics are where you need to try out and figure out real timing and work with people. And the last year, sure, we have to be more careful. From the beginning, I try to write stuff that could go on TV or be cleaner, but I'm not a saint. I know all the words, and it's a matter of I'm trying to say, how can I say this where I can relate to any audience, right? And then you'll get. I do a lot of corporate stuff and performances where they'll hire you to connect with people. But you asked about do I approach writing as an engineer? Here's the thing. I think anything to be successful at anything in life, right? As a parent, as an athlete, as a engineer, as a social work, or it takes discipline and hard work. So if you have habits I've never had anything I've done where, like, there were some kids I know, some of my friends are so smart, they would never have to study. They never have to do homework. I was not that person ever. I was the guy that was like, oh my, I got to study. And then I'll be like so distracted, like I'll be studying. Ooh, shiny, so now I'm studying longer because I'm getting distracted every 10 minutes. Or thank God I did not have this when I was in college, right? Because I don't know, I would have gotten through in 12 years, right? So, so I'd have to work really hard. And then once I take time, and it took me a while to just grasp it. Once I grasp it, I think I got it. Now I got it. My goal is, can I now explain that, can I explain string theory to anybody, or can I explain our community? Yeah, I like to take that. And in my mind, I'm thinking about, how do I take this idea and explain it to people? Right? So I wrote this silly joke. I said, I went to, now I went back to my, my back's hurting. I went to my physical therapist, excuse me. And when I walked into the clinic there, they aimed at my head what I thought was a Jewish space laser. And right. And I said, it turns out it was just a thermometer, but and I'll tell you, but it actually erased everything my wife had asked me to do that day.
That's hilarious.
And hilarious. And I go, she actually didn't believe that either. But apparently the thermometer mercury was in retrograde.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Whatever. But and I'm thinking, so okay, how do you take something, explain? But you just tell a story. But I'm not looking to throw. I don't ever talk about being an engineer on stage because it's like, hey, honey, let's go see an engineer. No, that's not what we want to do. Right. I joke. I did. All these Zoom shows at the beginning, you're like, you got to tell them. And we've Patrick McDermott and I have done a wonderful Zoom show. It's been great. I talked to you about it. It's called Relatively Happy Hour. And we have one more before. We're trying to figure out, now that clubs are opening and people just aren't as available, comics to be on a Saturday night to perform. The Zoom show. We all figured out Zoom and these all. I mean, look, this streaming, all these new medias, and I say first time it was great. You have to tell people, hey, turn on your camera, unmute. I go, yeah, I did this event for my people, the engineers, and take the world's most socially awkward people and put them all on mute. I mean, it was like performing in a cemetery, right? And so it's like, hey, turn it on. So you get a couple of good laughers, and you almost, like, sometimes, like any audience, you have a couple of good laughers. Like Dustin, you're a great laugher, man. And you see the audience with that. People want to have, what we miss sharing an experience together, right? And we're trying to do our best that we can with mediums like this, and we can. So
what do you think the future is for comedy?
Possible, yeah.
What do you think?
I think comedy future is going to be funny. I actually do believe there will be more of a hybrid model, at least for the first, in the sense of the audience we had for the most part for our show, our Zoom show was, I say older. When I say older, I mean my age, and honestly, not a group that was necessarily going.
You notice we didn't do a jab at you, Jeff. Go ahead.
Because you're a good host as opposed to I'm a bad guest. I know.
No, you're the best, dude. You're hilarious.
Hey, Mike, I would love to just give you a big hug right now, but I'm no Governor Cuomo. But what did I say? So I'd say, no, because you're looking at him going, he couldn't hear anyway if you did jab at him. He's deaf. But
he just jabbed at himself.
Why not, buddy? So I find the audiences are older, and these aren't people that were. I'm thanking my dad. He's going to be 80 years old, and my mom is watching from heaven, and he wasn't going to. There's so many people that come to shows that weren't going out or able to go out even before the pandemic. So we think. Some people go, you know what? I wasn't able to go. Now I have some place I can go to more stuff. Right. I'm not sitting in traffic, gas, parking, cover charge, 2 drinks. I mean, again, granted, that's what fuels the whole system. We're not taking that away. butts and seats. The business is butts and seats. It's not about
Right.
how funny you or I are or any of us are, right? It's about butts and seats. So I think there'll be somewhat of a hybrid, and we might find more virtual shows that go on maybe less frequently. But the woke thing, then there's comics, that people get up and say, how many are sick of the woke thing, or how many are sick? It's not about not wanting people to share what they really feel. And there's issues that absolutely need to be addressed, but it's also like, don't blame or point your finger at people who actually may have gone through stuff in life that you may not understand yet.
Yeah.
And actually also care about these things and have different ways of expressing their care or concern. Or, we marched, I marched with my parents on Washington. I mean, I remember sitting on my dad's shoulder at a McGovern rally in 1972.
Oh, wow.
We didn't win, but hey, Jews in New York marched for everything back in
right. You know what I'm thinking since the world's coming back, I think audiences nowadays, not sensitive, but the comedian really needs to love them more.
Love them. Yeah.
Really,
I never dealt with the audience.
Really love them instead of, even if there's a heckler, I think we should really be patient. As I say that now, and then all of a sudden I have a heckler video coming out soon. But I'm just saying,
Mike's releasing how to stop the heckler next Thursday. Like, Mike, what the?
No, but I'm just saying the mentality going in as a comic. The mentality going in as a comic, we have to love them more. We can't be like, I'm just gonna tear this place apart. I don't give a fuck who they are. I think we need to be more compassionate, more caring, because the whole world just went through this grinder of a year. And
are you talking about the apps you're using?
Yes,
now?
the big app, the Bumble and Grinder.
Okay.
But I think the whole world just went through so much. The last thing you want is a comic to be bitching at you for an hour.
Yeah, especially when you paid.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't feel it's my job to. You're right, and I mean, this is not just in comedy. There are people in every part of life that feel the need to pontificate, and I don't feel like I'm up there to like, let me tell you about how the world is. I'm like, hey, here's my perspective. Here's what happened to me. I went over here and this happened over there, and I say now, great thing about the pandemic is I go into the grocery store for the first 6 months, paper bags were free. I mean, that's great because in California, as soon as you get it, I didn't bring my. If you walk in, you don't have your recyclable Trader Joe's bag. They look at you like you're a pedophile, right?
Yeah,
what?
It's so true.
You want a paper bag? $12 each, you bastard. But you have to
like if you don't have your own bag, you got to go around your neighborhood and tell people you don't have your own bag.
Yeah, right.
Really?
you go to each house. Hi. I don't have my own bag. There's a movie with Kevin Bacon called The Bagman instead of The Woodsman.
Well, I mean, hey, think about it. It was interesting. I love the through most of the pandemic, walking down the street and people seeing you and crossing the street and walking away, or like even in my neighborhood, I walk all the time, because I don't have a car. No, I'm kidding. But and then there's always the people the Karens that'll see you and they'll be like, if I don't have my mask on, they'll
yeah, right.
They'll be like, he does this. They'll turn to you like the mask. And by the way, this is one when I crawled up under the house or in the ceiling. This is by the way, don't buy masks at the dollar store.
Yeah, right, during the pandemic.
No, seriously, they don't have the highest quality stuff. I went to the dollar store; they only had N94 masks, but
N94 and a half.
Okay.
Well, do you have any? I can't believe we're at an hour right now,
buddy. See, what did I say?
I know, right?
We're connected. You opened it up with 80s porn, and look at where it took us. Man.
I know, man. It took us for the long dry run. That's what it was.
Speaking of dry runs, yeah.
Do you have any? Do you have any words of wisdom? Do you have any words of wisdom for any new
I have
comics?
Nothing. I have absolutely nothing. No, I'm kidding.
I
always still think of myself as a new comic. Honestly, I'm always learning.
Yeah.
I think over time we all become comfortable being ourselves. And that's the one thing you learn about. It's people say, you have to find your voice. And mine is la 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 la. No, that's an Adam Sandler. What is your voice? Your voice, like you, Mike. This show is your voice, right? It's all over, man. I mean, you are shiny. That's what I love about you, right? I mean, that's your energy on stage is amazing, and you're bringing that to your show. You got the guy at the beginning introduction. You bring on Stephen Fury. You bring you got your boy Dustin there, and you bring all these different. It's beautiful, and that's your voice is just, multitasking, Mike. That should be the title of one of your albums.
There you go, multitasking. And I suck at multitasking with everything else.
No, but right. So it's find out. The times where I felt the most effective are when I haven't cared what the audience felt. Now, when I say that, that is never said in a way where, oh yeah, well, I'm just going to say what I'm going to say, and I don't care if you're offended or not, because that's not at all what I'm saying. Some people think it's there. Well, I want to shake things up by offending them, right? It's like, I'll go into my potential employer and tell him what I believe, and I'm thinking, and he has every right not to give you a job, you idiot, right? It's right. It's like you look at Richard Pryor, or even George Carlin at the beginning of their careers, suit and tie. They were a weatherman, all traffic report, all that stuff. Clean. And the key is, or even, work in the elements or the structure that you have available to you when you start, without compromising your values, of course, right? You got to be yourself and do more and more and more and keep talking, share, and finding your voice is really just being who you are and not caring. When I don't care if they like me or not, right? And that's effective in relationships and life. That's a hard thing, right? We all want to be loved, right? I mean, people say, "Why do you do comedy?" And I go, obviously, I said to make women laugh is an unbelievable thing. Obviously, we want to make your wife laugh or your spouse, but it's public validation. And when I say that, also that doesn't mean if I don't get validation, I'm so insecure, my self-image is so bad that I'll go and do something stupid to myself. I mean, you think about some people where you work an hour a day and you're oh my God, you're getting all this love and praise, and then the rest of 23 hours, what do you have to do to get back that state of? Because I mean, it when you're connected on stage.
Yeah, man, there's nothing like it.
It's a feeling like, I mean, there's not a drug on the world.
No, there isn't, or anything else. Well, maybe one other thing, but
no, not for me, because I'm on stage for an hour.
New York
the other
pizza
thing
is what I was
13
thinking.
seconds.
New York pizza is what I was thinking.
Oh.
Talking about the big slice.
Yeah, me too.
The big slice, the folded
That's
slice.
the 80s porn right there. The big slice.
The big slice.
The folded slice. That was
the folded slice.
That was the
folded slice.
That was the
oh man,
the Virgin for the Orthodox, but
that's hilarious.
But yeah, be yourself, man, and there's times where there's always an element of competition. We're all competitive people. Oh, that guy, but do a show where you want the people before you to be good, right? Not like I want them to suck so I'll look better. If they're good, the audience is going, man, this is.
I hate the savior of the show. I hate that.
Yeah, no, exactly. You got it. The job of the comic before is always to set up the next person. It's like. I always think about, when they flood and they stack sandbags to stop the water, reroute it. To me, that's a comedy show, and they got to be stacked perfectly or it's going to topple over.
Because I'm drowning up here, please. Where's the
I'm drowning up here. Well, Jeff, I tell you what, man. I've known you for many years, and every single time I see you, man, you've always given me. Oh, that's right. We didn't even do that.
This is called.
No. Dustin, hold on, Jeff. Hold on. Dustin. As long as I've known Jeff Applebaum, we had this thing called, are you ready for this? Mucho De Niro's. So,
you're good, Mike. Yes, you're good.
No,
Mike.
you.
Dustin, you. Robert. Yes, you did.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
You did a great show,
I don't
Mike.
look like Robert De Niro with the beard, but hey.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You.
You like nipples, Greg? Do you like nipples, Greg? Well, Jeff, honestly, man, it's been It's been a true honor and pleasure to
Well,
know
dude,
who
it's
you
been
are.
my
friend.
pleasure, man. This is so much fun. Chat, just chopping it up. And honestly, I'll be honest. Look, think about it. We're sitting here chopping it up. The way you have this up, it feels like we're sitting in the same room. Honestly,
That's great, dude.
And none of us have to drive 14 hours and pay 14 tolls or
I know, right? Just chop it up in the green room.
or go through Stockton or anything like that.
Don't say the S word around here.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching right now, if you want to follow Jeff Applebaum, all you got to do is follow him at jeffapplebaum.com. Right there, right below on the screen, right there. We'll leave it a moment. There we go. Boom. If you want to follow the Adorkable one, you can follow him on Instagram at instagram.com at Adorkable Dustin Wood. And if you just joined in, you're like, oh my God, it's an hour. We missed the show. Relax, because the rebroadcast will be on youtube.com/Mike B Comedy. And Jeff, I love you, man. I truly respect your craft and everything that you've done, and every interaction I whenever we walk by in comedy, you've always been 100% respectful and class, and you definitely raise the bar, and everyone needs to have the same class as you, man.
You're very kind, buddy. I always appreciate your heart, your energy, your love, your passion, and seriously, every time I see you, I literally do want to give you that hug. I really do.
Man, we will.
We will hug again.
Yes,
men
we will.
Hugging, as they
But
say.
before we hug,
I miss hugging men. Wait, my daughter's in the other room going.
Sounds like a Yankees
what's going on?
But before we hug, I have a prayer for you, but not from me, but from Sam Elliott. And now, a prayer from Sam Elliott.
Dear Heavenly Father, give me the strength so I don't have any patience for stupidity anymore. Everywhere I go, I see someone doing something stupid and I just want to smack them across the head, but I can't, dear Father, for you are the dude of this universe. Dear Lord, we're in a pandemic and I'm starting to lose my cool. All I want to do is sit in my leather chair, smoke a Marlboro Red, and drink a beer. Coors, America's beer. Lone Star Barbecue. Amen.
There you go, Jeff.
Buddy, that's that was beautiful. And
right
when you talk to Sam later, tell him I said thank you. And
awesome, man. Well, dude, thank you so much. And brother,
you guys,
we're gonna work again. I can't wait to see you again, my friend.
That's amen, man. Amen. We will very soon, and keep this up, man. This is fun. And
thanks, man.
This is totally you. Totally.
Thank you, sir. Everyone
Dustin,
else,
man, great chilling with you, brother. Great.
Thank
you,
you. Dustin. Thank you for being here, brother.
It was an honor, man.
Yeah, and guys, we'll see you next week.
Me, myself, and
The machine, La
It's
Machina,
me, myself, and I.
Jeff Applebaum. That guy just kept going,
Me, myself,
going,
and I.
and going. You don't see that anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
So I
me,
want you to do me a
myself,
favor. I
and
want you
I.
to support Jeff Applebaum. Follow Jeff Applebaum at jeffapplebaum.com. Watch any of his shows. They're phenomenal. And of course, follow the Adorkable one. You see it on the screen. I have Adorkable Dustin Wood. Dustin Wood. And of course, you're here on Me, Myself, and I. And I thank each and every one of you for being here every single week, supporting the show. I appreciate it. And don't forget to watch the rebroadcast on youtube.com/MikeBComedy. Have a safe holiday weekend. Remember, right before you barbecue, take a moment of silence. And we will see you next week.